or nominate Mr. Danny McDaniel as chairman with County Board of Supervisors.
I hear a second for that nomination.
I'll second.
Okay, we have Mr. McDaniel has been nominated and a second. Is there any other nominations?
Mr. Chairman, I move the nomination be closed.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor of the nominations be closed, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 7-0. Call for the question of Mr. McDaniel as chairman. Do a roll call vote. Artie?
Aye.
Mr. Hale?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Mr. McDaniel?
I always think if you're going to take it, you might as well vote for yourself.
7-0. Congratulations, and I'll turn the meeting over to Chairman McDaniel for the year 2013.
Thank you, gentlemen, also. At this time, we will take nominations for vice chair.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Mr. Hausman as vice chair.
Mr. Housen's been nominated.
I'll second.
We have 2 seconds. Okay, that's good. Are there any other?
You don't need one more vote, do you?
Mr. Chairman, I move the nomination be closed.
All right. Is there a second to that?
Second.
I had been moved and seconded for nominations to cease. Since Mr. Hausman is the only candidate, can we elect him by acclamation? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Do we still need a roll call vote? Sure. I don't think so with just one candidate. The next order of business is citizens' time. We have 2 citizens signed up. Mrs. Myers would like to speak, and she has 3 or 4 subjects. Looks like 3 or 4. I think
Hello,
that's
gentlemen. I'd
correct.
like to wish you all a happy new year.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And at the last meeting in December, I asked you if you would, as a board, to look into cell phone service or some sort of a tower or something that would alleviate the non-service that we have in the Speedwell and that end of town. I was wondering if any letters had been sent out to the agencies that do cell providers. Did that happen?
I don't know that any letters have been sent, but I can tell you that I talked to U.S. Cellular, and they showed me that they have a site on Stroop Mountain, but they didn't say when it would be up or anything like that.
So would it be to our benefit as a board to write a letter to U.S. Cellular saying there is interest and please tell me things? Could that happen?
I think that, if Mr. Horning wants to follow through with that, we'll be more than happy to support that.
We can do it. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna make any difference, but
Well, we can always try. Better try than not. You know, they should be aware, and perhaps the other cell phone people, or whoever, Verizon, or whoever does that kind of tower stuff should be contacted also. There's no reason why it can't happen if we try. Okay? Okay, that was one thing. Also concerning the school, everybody wants to support schools and so on. However, the economy really can't support major tax increases. And although the 3 cents here and 4 cents there, it all seems minimal, it really does add up. And we have to stop the spiral of all the fees, free money, supposedly grants, and the borrowing. And since we don't have an appreciable growth in student enrollment forthcoming, maintenance and basic improvements should be primary, and I'm asking you as a board to please review and re-review all the unnecessary additions, such as instant hot water and the porticos. Are they really needed in front of the buildings, the new ones? And there's probably other stuff in those budgets too that really could be cut out to decrease the amount of borrowing that we would have to do. Thank you, gentlemen.
Mr. McDaniel, I did meet with BVU last week. And
Who is BVU?
Bristol Virginia Utilities.
Okay.
They are into the bundling package. They will be coming to Wythe County. Since Speedwell doesn't have a franchise for cable TV at this point, they will be coming to Wythe County to ask for the capacity to do a franchise for all of Wythe County, which will include internet type of service, telephone, and just regular internet service. So, and in Bristol, where they've just started, they've actually caused the prices to go down down here. And they also are out in the coal fields now. They're putting in many towers for rural areas, to pick up those with a trot tobacco grant. And that is an issue that we did talk about at that meeting.
Well, that really sounds great, and I hope you guys continue with that process for all of us. Thank you.
Let's address that instant water thing. It seems to be a confusing issue. Won't take but a minute.
I understand that, and go ahead, I think you'll...
Instant water, Ms. Myers, is an energy-saving effort. It don't mean that you're doing something futuristic. Instead of pushing hot water through the line all the way from the mechanical room to where someone wants to wash their hands, it's a little unit that goes under the sink, and you're only moving a couple of feet of hot water. And it's a proven fact that it saves on the electric bill forever.
Understandable, but that's a unit, and if it's a unit for each laboratory, is it a unit for how many receptacles? And
It's a unit for, depending on the designer, of course, but it would be for a toilet facility, just one, not under each cabinet. You're cutting down on the amount of water that's going to waste and the amount of energy for heating water that's waste.
Well, I'm really concerned about maintenance for all gadgets. And do we really need more gadgets? I'm assuming that we've all washed our hands in tepid water, cold water, and we've all survived over the centuries. And good sanitation could be done with cold water just as easily as having special units installed.
Okay, let's move to our next speaker, Mrs. Heidi Krosky, and Heidi would like to speak to us about the Fort Chisholm Animal Park. Welcome.
I am the manager of Fort Chisholm Animal Park, and we are also deeply concerned about the tax increases that have been proposed for school construction. We feel that we are in a struggling economy, in this local economy and on the national level, and the higher taxes are going to only hurt us more. And we do feel that there are many frills and things that are nice, but they are not necessary to education, and we do not think that this is the time for a lot of the things that the school board has proposed. We were also surprised to learn after the December 11th meeting that the board is considering an admission tax to raise funds for the schools. And up until this time, admission has not been taxed because we are a service industry. For the same reason that the hairdresser is not taxed for every head of hair that she cuts, or the auto mechanic is not taxed for every car that he works on, we are not taxed for each ticket because this is a service we provide to make a living. And we feel this is only the way that it should be. We must charge admission to the zoo in order to pay for our animals and pay for their vet bills, in order to keep them fed and healthy. But we worked very hard to keep our admission rates low, and we have not raised our admissions since 2008, which I think is a really remarkable thing in this economy. But we realize that if we raise our admission, we're going to have a decrease in sales. And if the admission tax is passed, it is going to force us to raise our admission, which will threaten the survival of the zoo because it's going to decrease our attendance. And this is something that will be felt not only at the zoo, but at the other institutions, the other tourist businesses such as the racetrack and the Wolford House or Spooky World, these events that have admissions, it will really hurt them. One reason that we are opposing this is because it is unfair by nature. The vast majority of zoo visitors and many other tourism businesses in the county, they are from out of the county. They're not from Wood County. So they would be paying a tax that they would receive no benefit from. We also feel it is unfair to tax the tourism attraction when they receive no benefit, and then the school system, which receives the benefit, does not participate. In the December 11 minutes, it states that football games, recreation activities from the schools would be exempt from this admission tax, and we feel that that is very unfair. We also feel this tax is selective because it only penalizes one service industry, and that is the industry of tourism, and it expects a few of us that charge admissions to carry this weight. Up until this time, this county has been a good county to do tourism in. We have tourism directors, we have tourism committees, we have the regional visitor center right here in Winsville. It's a good county for tourism. But if this tax is passed, we feel that it will have a negative effect and truly show what our leaders feel about these local attractions. We do have a racetrack, we do have a dinner theater, we do have a zoo, but we feel these are civic assets, and we ask that you not penalize them for the service they provide. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. With that, we will close citizens' time. We move on in the agenda with the minutes of December the 11th. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion, we accept the minutes as presented.
All right, a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Does anyone see any additions or corrections to these minutes? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. Mr. Hall?
Aye.
And aye. Thank you, gentlemen. We will now move to payment of invoices.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to pay the invoice.
All right, do I have a second?
I say.
Then moved and seconded. Does anyone have a question on any invoice?
Yeah, I had one somewhere.
Okay.
Gotta find it. It's on page 23, Appalachian Power. Why is there 3 different bills for Speedwell Fire Department? And there's also 3 on down there for Barron Springs.
Bruce, can you handle that?
I'll take a guess, and that is that they brought their bills in late fashion.
But I thought the electric bills were coming automatically to the county now.
I believe they are.
Yes.
You said this was on page 23?
Yep.
People fire, well, I see it right up there now, yeah.
I will find out.
How many facilities does Speedwell Fire Department have?
That the county pays electricity on is only one.
There are a few services down there.
There are 2 services out there, but the county only pays for one of them.
You feel like you can vote on this, or do you want to wait?
No, I mean, I can vote on it, I just wanted to, I mean, it's just kind of odd that we got 3 bills for each fire department in 1 month, and
Well, I can speak to the Barron Springs.
All right.
Can you speak? Speak. Barron Springs has a repeater up on Gardner Road. That's got power, which is one of the minimums. And they also have the other little building down there that's barely got an outside light on. And then the big building is the building itself. But I cannot, the Speedwell Fire Department, just don't know what's going on there.
okay, just as long as somebody checks into it, make sure we're not paying bills we ain't supposed to.
Question.
Question's been called for. We don't have a vote. 20?
Aye.
And aye. Thank you. Moving to new business, we have the rules of procedure for the year 2013. Gentlemen, I hope you've reviewed these. Does anyone have any questions concerning?
I've got a couple on, would be on page 40 of the agenda.
Okay.
Article 4, Section 4.2.
Regular meeting?
Regular meetings. The board shall meet, Friday, except, June, Friday the 28th, 2013, first regular meeting in November, it will be Wednesday, November 13th, 2013. And the second regular meeting until December shall be held on December 26th, 2014. Is it 13 or is it 26 off too?
Well, I thought the 26th more than I did the
I did too.
I was wondering, the day after Christmas.
Well, that, I mean, that was, well, I knew the 14 was wrong, but I think December 26th in 2013 is on a Thursday.
It is, or 2013, it is on a
On a Thursday, yeah, that's what I mean.
By the calendar of next year, the 24th, which is a Tuesday, is a holiday, the 25th is a holiday.
So this goes to the other rule or procedure that after a holiday, it's automatically the next day.
Next working day.
Okay, so the only correction is the
13.
2013. All right.
Apologize for that.
You had another one?
Yeah, just some language, on, Article 5, 5.6, where it says restating the question. The chair shall restate the question prior to the taking of the vote, provided, however, the chair may request that another member restate. I think that word provided needs to come out. So it would read, the chair shall restate the question prior to the taking of the vote. However, the chair may request that another member restate the question. All right.
No, keep on, I mean, that's.
I'm sorry, I read it.
Oh, we're gonna do, be honest with you, I did too, so.
Oh, I know. In section 6.3, citizens' time, it limits citizens' time here to 20-minute period. And it says that other time limits, that no one shall be allowed to exceed the time limits specified in other sections of the rules and procedures. So those are the time limits that we have listed for public hearings.
That's the way I understood it.
Well, I know that one of the vice chairman's jobs is to,
Keep the time.
yeah, to keep the time, and I just want to make sure I understand what I'm keeping. It says, consists of a 20-minute period and shall be divided among the citizens who desire to speak. However, no one shall be allowed to exceed the time limit specified in other sections of the rules of procedure.
Now, public hearing 7.2.
Yeah, in 7.2, it gives specific times. What I'm asking is, I just want to make sure that those are the time limits for citizens' time as well. I just want us to be clear on that.
How do board members feel concerning this issue? Public hearings, we usually try to accommodate everybody that comes to a public hearing.
So you're saying if somebody is speaking for a group, do they get 5 minutes or?
What I'm saying is during citizens' time. I mean, at one place we say that it's 20 minutes divided up among the citizens. So if you have 4 people that sign up to speak, each of them get 5 minutes. Or it goes on to say that no one shall exceed the time limits set forth in other procedures, which is in a public hearing, is 3 minutes for an individual. I just.
We would consider a public hearing different than citizens' time as a regular board meeting.
Well, that's what I want to, I just want to make sure of that.
Typically, I think the answer is not set in stone. We may want it to be, because I think as a board, if you have 20 minutes and people have a longer subject to speak to, that you provide that additional time and not be as rigid if you had 40 people sign up for citizens' time. And I think time limits should apply, but if you have 2 people speaking and you have 20 minutes, I think you should give them ample time to make their case.
And I certainly don't disagree with that. I just want to make sure that what it says and what we do, that there's consistency.
But it's technically the way it reads, isn't addressed anywhere else. That,
And we can cut them off if it becomes repetitive, I believe. So, Mr. Housen, by consensus, I think we can accept the change to 2013 and the other one that you had without having a motion.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Well, the one was just, was just, two of them were corrections and one was just, just a question.
Okay.
And if I may ask one other question, then I won't ask anything about
That's
the
fine.
procedure.
You can take some.
On section 7.6. I understand that if we feel the need that we can place people under oath.
Right.
My question is, does penalty of perjury apply?
I'll refer to the county attorney, but my understanding it does.
Okay.
When you place it, the code section is, you become a court of law and presiding. And when you do that, then the same effect of law, they can be charged with making false statements.
I don't have any more questions, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we accept the rules of procedure for 2013 with the corrections.
I'll second that.
Move in second. We need some more discussion on the rules of procedure. All right, we'll call for the vote. Mr. Hall.
Aye.
And aye. We have adopted the rules of procedure for 2013. Next, we'll look at our budget calendar. I would like to say that I'd ask you to review this budget calendar. Mr. Dalton and I talked today on the telephone, and we've already got a conflict on initial budget parameters. I think that we wanted to move that to the 16th, Mr. Dalton. 16th, and this is a full board work session meeting for everything concerning the parameters of our budget. And I'd like to start that at 9:30 on the 16th, gentlemen. Is there a problem with that?
16th of January.
It's 9 Wednesday.
Right, 9:30.
I can't make it till 10:30 that day.
Well, I can set it at 10:30 just as well, or
10:30, I gotta speak at George Webb High School.
well, I just come out here and listen to that.
About banking, you might.
About what?
Banking.
I need some help.
9:30 again.
10:30 is requested, and it fits me. Mr. Dawson, have your schedule 10:30 also?
And that's on Thursday.
That'd probably be easier for you too, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
10:30?
And that's on Thursday?
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah. Try to-
Oh, the 16th. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we want-
Okay, I'm sorry, I was looking at the 17th. Okay, the 16th.
I don't want to adopt this calendar yet. We'll probably try to do that for the next meeting, give you more time to review it with your schedules and so forth. And it's never held in stone, as you know, things can change during the year. Except for the 16th, and that will be set. We'll move now to the meeting calendar for 2013. We need to adopt this calendar, or is it covered in our rules of procedure?
I think the rules of procedure, it does outline the joint meetings and some other holidays for everybody's
So that I think I understood you to say we really didn't need to, because it wasn't covered in rules of procedure.
It's covered in the rules of procedure.
Okay.
And this is for everybody to set the joint meetings, et cetera, by.
The joint meeting this year will be, at a retreat, I assume?
They are at Rural Retreat. April the 29th will be the first.
All right. All right, Ms. Dalton, you want to tell us anything about the Rural Caucus on January the 30th and Legislative Day?
The Rural Caucus will be in the evening of January 30th. Typically, for those that want to go to Legislative Day, we go down the day before and then come back on the Legislative Day late that afternoon. And for anybody who wants to go to that the Rural Caucus, all the legislators will be there that night. It gives you an opportunity to eat dinner with them if you'd like. Need to know if anybody, who's going to go, and also who's going to go to Legislative Day, so we can make the travel arrangements.
All right. The meeting on the 16th, be okay to tell us for that?
It will be.
You get your travel arrangements for that time? Okay. Does anyone right now think they may not want to go, or is most everybody going to go to Legislative Day? I plan to. It will give you time to tell us for sure. Chairman's Institute, I would prefer, and to be honest with you gentlemen, do not want to go to that. I've been to one before, and it just saves the county money.
Well, the reason that we put this on there this year, we didn't know who would be chairman, but in subsequent years, we have 3 people that will be running for election this year. Mr. Daniels may or may not be running. If anybody looking to the future, if anybody wants to be the chair, it's probably a pretty good training session to attend in the future. And you can think about that and just get backwards.
Yeah. Again, the 16th, I'm talking about, they give you time to get hotel reservations, because we got to remember, you got every county in the Commonwealth trying to be down there during this time.
And town in the city.
Yeah. Agriculture Exposition Center report.
Mr. Chairman, I will give that. Mr. Horny, Mr. Dalton, and myself met with Mr. Muncie on the Ag Expo board on December 28th to go over parameters with the engineer to evaluate each site for the selection process. The evaluation of the sites, Mr. Dalton came up with a criteria for evaluating each site, and they were site location, convenience, and accessibility, and security requirements, visibility, general and signage, compatibility with surroundings, acquisition consists of cost, configuration, number of acres desired or on each site, development costs such as grading, structures, engineering, and access roads, parking, stormwater, permitting, and site constraints, and expansion, see if on the site's expansion and existing facilities, parking, interest, and access. The engineer, we will be meeting in February with the engineer to go over each of the sites. He should have the preliminary evaluations on the site, and I think that will give the Ag Board a real heads up on making an intelligent decision on which site they may select in Wood County.
they're not gonna be bound by this, are they, or are they,
No.
They are not, but what this does is gives, you compare each site equal based on cost, development cost, and all, visibility and all these other things, and it should come up to the best site will score the highest point. And we asked Mr. Muncy and take it back to his committee if they had any suggestions to change the rating system, to let us know, but I think everybody, what I've heard, is okay with the rating system. So if you do it fairly, and that's the reason we brought an engineer in to get us away from it locally, to make it a fair comparison. If it comes back, whichever one that is highest rated, that should be the first site they look at. But if you can't acquire it,
that's what I say, it's cost prohibitive.
yes.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to the Budget Committee report.
Mr. Chairman, I guess I'll do that too.
Also,
The Budget Committee met on December 12th and made the following recommendations. Number one, reject all bids received for the tourism website and re-advertise with specifications that are more in detail. The bids the information that we got wasn't detailed enough for us to disregard the low bids from the high bids. So we're rebidding it.
make sure the specs are right.
And I don't think we have to do anything on that. Number two, to pay $2,095 for Mr. Joe Marshall for an animal claim, and also to implement standard procedures for further claims.
What is meant by standard procedures for future claims?
How we go about investigating what happened in this instance is that we got there after carcasses and everything. They had some pictures, but we have to be there. For instance, some of the, they were good pictures and everything, but we need to get there, make sure that we get the statements, follow up with the facts, and have it well documented of how we go about making these claims.
Coming from the committee, it needs no second. Are we ready to vote on this issue?
Also, do we want to set the prices, registered, or livestock market?
We will have a recommendation back from the Budget Committee in the future to change, amend the ordinance of how we determine the values.
Okay. Tim, are you ready to put that for us?
Yes.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, we have a recommendation from the Budget Committee to pay Mr. Marshall $2,095. I'll call for the vote. Mr. Horn.
Aye.
And aye. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, before we go on, going back to number one, since we had formal bids, do we have to make a motion to reject them?
We should. That was a recommendation to the board.
I mean, just so that we stay in the,
Thank you. So we will, Mr. Reed, you want to make that motion for your committee that we reject all bids?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Coming from the committee, again, it needs no second. We are ready to vote. Ms. Horning?
Aye.
And aye. Thank you. Next part of the agenda is the Department of Conservation and Recreation. And this is a grant, I believe, for $33,842. And this grant will allow us to prepare an ordinance and become in line with state regulations as far as stormwater management. Is that correct?
If we accept the grant, it will help defray the cost. only a portion of the cost that we will incur to do this, but we have no choice. The Virginia General Assembly last year passed a stormwater management regulations, and we are forced into not only enforcing state law, but to enact our own ordinances. And this is to help defray those costs. We asked for a grant of almost $100,000. We got about a third of it.
Are you expecting this to cost around $96,000? Or can you get it done a little cheaper?
I would anticipate that it will, even the $100,000 would not cover the cost that we asked for.
Well, do I have a motion to accept the grant, $33,842, to help with the cost of this?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion.
Looking for a second?
I'll second.
Anyone have any discussion concerning this matter?
As this thing goes on, it's gonna be money out of pockets of people in Wood County, what they build or that sort of thing. We just need to do an educational campaign to let people know that this is not us, that this is not the county.
The fees are set by the state of Virginia. We're forced into collecting the fees they set. It'll actually place a financial burden, I anticipate, on first-time homeowners and even bigger projects. But the way the current legislation is written, we have no choice but to enact that and be the enforcing agent.
We have a motion, and it has been seconded to accept the grant, $33,000 plus. I'll call for the vote. Mr. Hall?
Aye.
That was not very positive, but you do what you got to do. All right, next on the agenda is a letter again from the Department of Conservation and Recreation. And this is, I guess, commending us for the work that we have been doing. Is that correct, Mr. Dawson?
DCR came in last year and evaluated how we were enforcing the state of Virginia erosion sediment control laws. We did some corrections administratively of some issues that they wanted to see more documentation on. That was presented with that plan back to the DCR board, and this is their letter accepting our plan and thanking us for the work we did.
Comments? I'm seeing none. We'll move next to appointments for 2013. We have several appointments that need to be made. It is my intention now, gentlemen, if you are on a committee and happy with that committee assignment, you will stay on that committee, and we will move forward from there. There are other committees that need to be things. I will finalize all this and have it at our 16th meeting, our workshop meeting for committees. We do have a letter from the library board, and also I received a letter from the tourism asking that their certain members be retained, except for, I think, Mr. McLemore from Rural Retreat did not want to be on it. Huh?
Yeah, Miss Moore, yeah.
Miss Moore, okay, it's Miss Moore, all right. And so we would need a recommendation from the tourism committee or someone.
Well, it would be from me, as likely, supervisor, but the person that I want to talk to about, I've not gotten in contact with them yet. But I have someone in mind.
All right. Can you maybe have that by the 16th?
Hope so.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, can I
Sure.
go back?
Yeah.
Under the committees, one committee that we have, we have Fire and Rescue Association, 2 members of that committee, since we no longer have, Fire and Rescue Association, but we do have, Fire and Rescue Task Force. There's, it's just a little different. We don't have Fire and Rescue Task Force listed here anywhere, although it's a functioning committee. But we have Fire and Rescue Association members, so.
Well, what we'll do, I'll try to get with Mr. Dalton and tweak this thing, and the subsequentennial committee does not need, it's over with, and so forth. So that would take off that, and we'll review it. I would like to go ahead and ask you if, with this, I think, takes approval from the whole board, that we accept Mr. Ernest Wheeler as a member of the library board, because I know they have their first meeting for this year in Grayson County on the 17th of January, so we can go ahead and let them know that he's been appointed. So can I have a nomination to have Mr. Wheeler instead of Mrs. Alcott?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that.
All right. Motion that Mr. Wheeler be appointed. For a second.
That's it.
All right. Then moved and seconded that Mr. Wheeler be appointed to the library board. All in favor, please say aye. Thank you. Any other questions concerning appointments? If you have an appointment, just get in touch with me if someone that you want to plan to put on a committee. If not, I'm going to assume the committees are going to stay as is. After we tweak to make sure that they have not stayed past their time, under our bylaws, no one can serve on a committee more than a total of 2 terms. So, and you do have term expiration dates on your form. All right, we will move next to a letter we have from Montgomery County asking us to support a resolution to allow hemp farming. Anyone have any concerns or questions concerning this letter?
The way it came to us, I think Jim Politis, who's now the chairman of the Montgomery County Board, has ran this through maybe a committee that Mr. Reeves sits on through the Virginia Association of Counties. And they've asked us to either pass a similar resolution to this or support their effort. And I think the Association of Counties have endorsed this concept.
Yes, they have. On the Environmental and Agriculture Steering Committee, this was brought up last year, and VACO does support this. It gives farmers in the state, especially south side, that grow tobacco and other products, just another crop to grow. Hemp production outside the United States is expanding. They make a little bit of everything out of it. They even make cereal bars. And the THC in hemp is so minimal. It's not like, it's in the cannabis family, but it's not enough to get high on. You got to need enough hemp or smoke enough hemp to get effects out of it. So I think it's a great idea, especially for farmers that grew tobacco, that's not growing tobacco anymore, and it'd be a great asset to Virginia and to the farmers to have another crop to grow in Virginia.
Well, what would be y'all's pleasure for us to do our own resolution, or would just to support this one?
I believe it'd be a stronger position if we change the names and modify a little bit pass your own resolution.
Should we have that ready for the next day meeting?
We may.
Okay, thank you. All right, next we have the Crossroads Regional Industrial Facility Financial Budget Report. Anyone like to discuss anything in that report? That's basically for information.
Do we accept that?
We need to accept we're a
Member of that.
member of that. One of the things that the report, I think, shows is that all the bills are now paid. It's 100% debt-free. Crossroads, all collections now will be returned to the three-member entities. So we paid off all the bills this year.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept this financial report.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any further discussion concerning this financial report? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Mr. Warner?
Aye.
Aye.
And aye, thank you. All right, we also have the New River Regional Authority financial report. I assume we have to accept that since we are a member of that one also.
We do. The key component of that, I think, is on page 119 of our agenda, page 9 of the Water Authority, where it shows that the Water Authority still owes Wythe County $3.4 million. They're paying that back to us on an annual basis.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, again, I move that we accept this financial report from New River Regional Water Authority.
Okay. Is there a second?
That's it.
Been moved and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote. Mr. Hall?
Aye.
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 And aye, thank you. Request for bids for the Health Department building. Mr. Dalton, they've been sent out.
They have placed a copy of the public notice in package. One of the things that we have found out is for us to really get a good comprehensive bid and get the full value of that building. Anybody that's bidding on the facility really needs time enough to do an appraisal and get that proposal together for us. I would request, even though we've put it out staff-wise, that we would accept bids on, I think it's January the 25th, that we extend that an additional 60 days up until March to allow these companies and people interested in that facility to get their appraisers in, look at the building, and prepare a bid that is probably more advantageous to us, and so that it takes the risk factor out for the bidders.
Well, since we put in, we could reject all bids, are you telling us we should do that now or wait till the 25th and then give another 50-day bid?
I think now we just amend this notice, if the board's agreeable to that,
Okay.
give them an additional 60 days to March.
Well, I'd be agreeable if that's legal, I would think, you know.
We can amend the advertisement.
We'll say, has it already been advertised?
It has.
Yeah, it's
So
not
you have to re-advertise?
I know, we will just, well, we'll publish the amendment to it, and anybody that calls and asks about it, we will refer them. And we will not change this showing date that in our bid advertisement, we had a showing date on Wednesday, January the 9th. We will tell everybody tomorrow that this bid is going to be extended.
Have you had interest?
We've got three, all three, everybody that surrounds us, adjoining landowners, has talked to us. But they want to understand what the building is and liability, so it's really to our best advantage to let them get their appraisers and everybody in there to look at it.
I think we've already set the parameters budget meeting for 10:30 on the 16th. That's the next-
Do we need a motion to add that 60 days, or can you just do that?
That's all it is.
I think with consensus, we can just do that. If everybody's agreeable to that, I don't think we need.
Thank you, Mr. Moynihan, looking ahead.
I just want to make sure.
Thank you. Work session budget parameters, we've already set. Is there anything in the informational package anybody would like to bring up?
Did have an item, Ms. Meyer sent us, that I placed in the informational packet for y'all to review and at your leisure. House Bill 1430. And not only House Bill 1430, there's 1,500 bills in each side of the legislature this year. They've got 45 days to do it. Some of that's going to go through very fast and rapidly. For example, the governor's budget bill, if it passes as shown, probably costs the county several $100,000. It's just a matter of fact, the 10 and 12% raises to Commonwealth attorneys, etc., and 2% for some of the other offices. We have to pick up non-funded offices plus the benefits. And we've actually, we talk about the budget parameters, but we've spoken to the healthcare providers. We're going to see between a 6 and 9% increase in healthcare. We've went 2 or 3 years without any increase. So there's some things.
The whole thing on television, I think I mentioned to you that they said the average cost of insurance, health insurance may go up 6% across the country. That's the average. Some will be higher than others.
And for everybody's good information, you'll probably be getting some telephone calls here as the next paychecks go out. People are going to lose about 2.5% of their salary.
Social Security?
Social Security and some other things that weren't addressed in the federal budget bill. So that's real money that'll be coming out of the pocket. And we also, I think, in your box, we placed a copy of the American Electric Power's primary and secondary route filings they placed with the Corporation Commission. We received notice because they will be wanting to acquire a property in Progress Park to tie into their substation.
And we also, I think, got a letter from Mr. Hancock, a memorandum on the rescue squad. And I heard him tell somebody it was a profitable month, and not that we're trying to make profit, we're just trying to stay ahead of the water and so forth.
They also
Congratulate you guys.
10 new volunteers.
Yeah. So that's a good sign for young people to want to take on that responsibility. And I know how much work is going to be involved, and we appreciate you. I'll tell you that up front.
Well, while we're talking about that, Danny, I thought that we were going to have a dinner to show our appreciation to these firemen and rescue squad members.
We have talked about that in the task force, and we're looking at doing something, kind of in the spring.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, no, that's still in the works.
I think it's a good idea, don't you, boy? Obviously. Okay. Anything else? All right. Is there any other business to come before? And yes, Bruce, I told you I was going to do it and I almost missed it. You got to tell us about speed.
The two bills, one of them is missing in here, so I'll have to look tomorrow for us. But One is the $122.98 is October 18th bill for Speedwell, and the $371.66 is a December 19th bill, same account. So you could wonder whether the missing one is November or not. Well, I'll find that out.
Do those bills come straight to us, or do they come to the Speedwell Fire Department first and then are forwarded to us?
They are supposed to be coming to us in the process.
I do believe there was a delay, and we had talked to the AEP when we were transferring ownership and property, that they agreed to not cut the power off until we got the bills paid.
Rescue squad building been turned over to rescue squad?
We have not, Jamie, is he still back there?
Yeah.
He came by the other day, we were down there, we don't have the certificate of occupancy, the building inspector was down there this afternoon, and hopefully that will be done. There's a lock or two that still needs to be changed. Somehow we ended up keying all the locks the same and they needed a separate lock for the closet back there, I think, a different key that somebody controls. A little storage closet, James.
As small as that is, that we probably wouldn't be keeping much in that, probably end up being a bird closet.
Okay.
So that'll be fine if y'all don't change that.
Okay. And I think one of the things Jamie asked us if we could change out or add a glass to the door, didn't we?
I have a question about the rescue. Did we get the grant for like these 10 new volunteer members? Did we get that grant to provide payment for their books or?
That's through foundation.
Yeah.
I know we got money through the foundation for firefighters. I'm not sure about the other
That
two.
was part of it, I think, the way it was written, wasn't it?
There were 3 different grants, or 4, that we applied for. We got 2 checks today from the foundation for whatever purpose. I'll
Well,
check.
if it did get approved, would you please make that available to these people so they can access those funds?
The business, we'd have a closed session, talk about prospective industry.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we go into closed session for discussions relating to prospective business or industry pursuant to section 2.2-3711A5 of the Code of Virginia.